I want you to think about your grocery bill 5 years ago. Now think about it today. That feeling you get in your stomach when you see the total is higher, even though you bought the exact same things. That's not just in your head. It's not bad luck. It's a silent, invisible tax eating away at your savings and your paycheck every single day. It's called inflation, and while your politicians might talk about it like it's a mysterious force of nature, the truth is, it's a man-made problem with very real human consequences. And understanding it is the first step to protecting yourself from it. You feel it, don't you? You work just as hard, maybe even harder, but your paycheck seems to stretch less and less. You see the price of gas jump overnight for no apparent reason. You hear about this strong economy on the news, but all you see is your rent going up and the cost of a carton of eggs becoming a serious line item in your budget. It's exhausting. It feels like you're running on a treadmill, trying to get ahead, but the speed of the treadmill keeps getting faster. It creates a quiet, constant anxiety. You're not just planning for the future anymore. You're just trying to keep your head above water right now. That feeling is the direct, personal impact of inflation, and it's time we talked about what it actually is. I'm not an economist on TV, and I'm not going to throw a bunch of jargon at you. I'm just a person who, like you, has watched the cost of living climb and has spent years obsessing over the simple question, why? I've dug into the mechanics behind the headlines to find the real story. So in this video, we are going to demystify inflation. I'm going to show you what it is, what really causes it, who it helps and who it hurts, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. The core idea you need to understand is this. Inflation is not just prices going up. At its heart, inflation is a loss of purchasing power. Your dollar is literally losing its strength, its ability to buy things. It's not that the stuff is getting more valuable. It's that the money is becoming less valuable. And that distinction changes everything. Step 1. The simple definition. What is inflation? Let's start with the simplest possible explanation. Imagine the entire economy is like a giant auction, and the only currency is dollars. Now, imagine the government prints a whole bunch of new money and drops it from helicopters. Everyone has more money. You go to the auction to buy a used car, but so does everyone else, and they all have this new helicopter money. What happens to the price of the car? It goes up because there are more dollars chasing the same car. That's inflation on a grand scale. When there's more money floating around in the economy, but the amount of stuff to buy, cars, food, houses, services, doesn't increase at the same rate, the prices of that stuff go up. Your dollar has become weaker because there are more of them. Let's use a more personal example. Let's say you have $100 in your pocket, and a nice dinner for two costs $50. Your money can buy you 2 dinners. Now, let's say inflation is running high. A year later, that same exact dinner costs $75. Your $100 now only buys you 1 dinner, with a little left over. You still have $100, but your purchasing power has been cut in half. That is the brutal, simple truth of inflation. It's a thief that steals the value of your savings and your earnings. Step 2. The 2 main engines of inflation. So why does this happen? Where does all this new money or spending power come from? Economists will give you a dozen reasons, but they almost all fall into 2 main categories. The first is demand pull inflation. This is the too much money chasing too few goods scenario we just talked about. This happens when demand in the economy outpaces the supply of goods. Think about what happened during the pandemic. The government sent out stimulus checks. People had money to spend. But at the same time, factories were shut down and shipping lanes were closed, so there weren't as many things to buy. What happened? People bid up the prices of the limited things that were available, like used cars, lumber, and Peloton bikes. The massive surge in demand pulled the prices up. The second type is cost-push inflation. This is when the cost of making things goes up and companies push that higher cost onto you, the consumer. A perfect example is the price of oil. If the price of a barrel of oil goes up, it costs more to ship everything from bananas to books to your front door. It costs more to run the tractors on the farm and the plastic molding machines at the toy factory. All those businesses see their costs go up, so they raise their prices to protect their profits. You feel this every time you fill up your gas tank, but you also feel it in the price of literally everything else. That's cost-push inflation. Step 3. The hidden hand. The role of government and central banks. This is the part that often gets overlooked. Governments and central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the United States, play a massive role in all of this. Why would a government want inflation? Well, for one, it makes debt easier to pay off. If the government owes $1 trillion and inflation reduces the value of that debt by 5% a year, that's a huge help. It's like getting a discount on your debt. It also makes people feel richer in the short term. When your house price goes up, you feel wealthy and you might spend more, which makes the economy look good. But how do they create it? The main tool is monetary policy. The central bank can lower interest rates, making it cheaper for everyone to borrow money. Cheaper loans for businesses mean more expansion and hiring. Cheaper mortgages for people mean more buying houses. All this new borrowing and spending injects more money into the economy, which can lead to demand-pull inflation. The other tool is, quite literally, creating new money, often through a process called quantitative easing, where the central bank buys government bonds to inject cash into the financial system. It's a complex way of saying they are creating money out of thin air to stimulate the economy. Now, this isn't always a bad thing. A little bit of inflation, maybe 2% a year, is considered healthy. It encourages people to spend and invest rather than hoard cash. But the problem is, it's like trying to thread a needle. Push it a little too hard, print a little too much money, and you can spin out of control, leading to the painful inflation we're experiencing now. Step 4. Who wins and who loses in the inflation game? Inflation is not an equal opportunity offender. It creates winners and losers. The biggest losers are savers and people on fixed incomes. If you have $10,000 in a savings account earning 1% interest, but inflation is running at 8%, you are losing 7% of your purchasing power every single year. Your money is literally rotting in the bank. The same goes for retirees living on a fixed pension. Their checks buy less and less every year. The winners are debtors and owners of real assets. If you have a fixed-rate 30-year mortgage, you are a huge winner. You get to pay back your loan with dollars that are worth less and less every year. It's like the bank is giving you a discount on your mortgage over time. And if you own assets like real estate, stocks, or commodities, their value usually rises with inflation, so you are protected. You own the stuff. And remember, when money becomes less valuable, the stuff becomes more valuable in dollar terms. This is why inflation is often called a regressive tax. It hurts the poor and the middle class, who hold their wealth in cash and have fixed incomes, the most. It benefits the wealthy, who hold their wealth in assets, the most. As you navigate this, there's one major trap to avoid: the wage price spiral. This is a dangerous feedback loop. Prices go up, so workers demand higher wages to keep up. Companies give them higher wages, but to cover those higher labor costs, they have to raise their prices even more. This leads to workers demanding even higher wages, and the cycle continues, with inflation spiraling higher and higher. This is what happened in the 1970s, and it's a nightmare scenario that central banks are desperate to avoid. So what can you do? You can't stop the government from printing money, but you can protect yourself. The number one thing you can do is to stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like an investor. Your goal is to own assets that grow faster than inflation. This doesn't mean you have to be a stock market genius. It can be as simple as investing in a low-cost index fund that tracks the entire stock market, or finally buying that home you can afford. It means making your money work for you to outpace the silent thief of inflation. My challenge to you is to look at where your money is right now. Is it sitting in a savings account losing value? Or is it working for you? If this video helped you understand the world a little better, please consider subscribing to this channel for more practical insights. And leave a comment below with one thing you can do this week to start protecting your purchasing power. Thank you so much for watching. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and take control.